Hi, welcome back to my channel, and today is an updated book challenge. I'm challenging myself to read all these books in 2018. I know I'm not going to finish all of them. I've just got it in my head. I know I'm not going to finish all of them. But I have finished one of the books, which this is why I'm going to do a video now. This is a really good book. Recommend anyone who wants to read something like this should read it. It's set in two year kind of things. The first chapter is like 1815, and then it goes to goes to 1815, and then it goes to 1840, I think it is, or 1845, something like that, or around that kind of thing. Overall it goes to like 25 years later, and it's around the lives of these two families, and they emerge together, and they find out a secret about their son and about the other family's daughter, and so on. But there is like mixed kind of dead end kind of stories in this, which I really don't like about this book. That's the only thing what I don't like about this book is there's one of the Earl's brother on it gets into debt, and he's asking for money all the time, and then he gets money off a friend, and then his friend wants it back, and then we don't hear nothing about if he's out of debt or anything from it. I assumed he might have been killed in the book because he wasn't in any of the other chapters after chapter 8, which I was a bit shocked about. And then he was at the end as well, him and his wife, when they were like, they found out the secret and they're not going to be getting in the inheritance what they were expecting. But they're like, there's an attempted murder at the end of the book as well. It's just like, wow, it was all put in like one book. I do think he should have took his time and got the characters like used to them, because there were like different characters in here, and it was like, who do you like, who do you not like? There was there was a couple what were all straight through, and I really did like their storylines and stuff, but the ones what were like here and there, it was like a hit and miss. One was in debt 1 minute, and then it's out at the end of the book, he's, I think he's still in debt, but he didn't tell you or anything. So they do also have like an online let me find it at the end of the book. They did have an online information thing, but that was useless. You basically have to purchase the chapters, which I've already purchased. I already have the book. I've read the book. I thought it might give me information on the other characters, but it did not give me any such thing whatsoever. So overall, it was a good book, a good read. I just didn't have time to read it in January because of everything what's been happening to me in January. Well, not me personally, just overall what's happened in January. But I finished it. I know it's now I think it's the 4th of February, and I intended to finish this in January. So in the overall, I did have planned a break in between during the year. I was going to have a month of no reading, which to now I'm going to have to put that for reading, because January became the non-reading month for me, and I only read a couple pages of this, but then I finished it, so I'm actually quite glad I actually finished this book. My brother got me this for Christmas in 2016, so I was actually so happy that I actually finally got to read it and finish it, and I just love it. So it's going to stay in my collection. I'm not too sure how long it'll stay in my collection, because I've read it. I don't know if it'll stay in my collection for long, but if anyone wants a good read, I'd say get this, because it's really good. If you don't like the hit and miss kind of characters, there's a couple of characters what you'll fall in love with. Apart from that, you'll love it. So moving on, I haven't decided what book I want to read next. and because I wanted February, obviously I'm not going to use these Christmas ones because I'm not in the mood for Christmas ones. I was tentatively having this for January as well as the Belgravia. This one is a short read, and I could easily read this and see if I'll read it. So I'm thinking I might read this one, because this is an old book of mine which I haven't read, and it's basically brand new. As you can see, I have started reading it. Not today, I started reading it last week to see if I was going to be liking it, and it's really good at the moment. So I'm going to see if I'm going to read this. I probably read this today and see how I go with it. Because it's a very small book, I'm thinking of having a second one in the mix. Not reading it together, but so basically I might read this in February as well. So I've got my 2 books for February, which I've started late. I'm 4 days late in the February one, so I'm going to try and get as much as this one done as quick as I can and try and enjoy it. This one is the After You by Jojo Moyes. I'm going to see if I don't read it, then I'll put it back into the books to read in 2018 and move on to something else, because I did plan on reading this in February as well, but I'm going to move this a bit back for a bit, because I've just had one of them ones, so I want like a modern mix to my reading this month. And after that, I have got basically other stuff to read. Like, I've got my new books what I want to read in 2018. A lot of people are probably thinking, why have you got loads of new books? You should put them back in your collection. Pardon me, leave them until 2019. But my challenge is to read the books I haven't read, and these are the books I haven't read. And some of them are Christmas ones, which are going to be put in for like Christmas time. So I have 3 of them, which are here. So I've got Holiday Swap, The Angels of Christmas, and Christmas Ever After, and they were either I think 2 were up on, I think they were all £1. They were all £1, so it wouldn't, I can leave them for the Christmas season for them ones. And these ones are new for me. So I've got The Autumn Fair by Elizabeth Chadwick, The Beguided by Thomas Cullinan, I think I've said that right, Fike and Fire by Justin Hill, and The Railway Girls by Leah Fleming. This one is it was basically The Railway Girls is a reissue of my second novel, originally published in 1997 under my original name Helen Riggin, as Trouble on the Wind. Now that I am better known as Leah Fleming, I keep life simple by sticking to that name. The novel has its origins in the fight to save the Cecil to Carlisle Railway from closure. It was written to celebrate its reprieve. This one I think I've read when I was a kid. My auntie loved these kind of books. I think I read this book when I was like 13, 14 years old, but I'm not too sure, so I'm going to read it again anyway. It's a book I'm 32, so obviously it's a book what I can't remember, so I'm going to read it again. And these ones are probably going to be the ones in November. It's not even November, it's February. But I'm going to give myself not a break. I'm going to read this one, see how this goes. I normally find after a chapter if I don't like the book. So after a chapter, if I don't like either of the books, I will probably stop reading them. And if I don't like reading them, I will probably put all my books. I really do want to keep most of my books, but if I don't like them, I will probably part with them, either by eBay or through friends who want to read the stuff. So that's what I want to read in February. I have other books, which I have my Philippa Gregory books, which are The Queen's Fool, which I also want to read, The King's Curse by Philippa Gregory, and The Other Queen by Philippa Gregory. And I've got Victoria, which is by Daisy Goodwin. I have The Respectable Trade by Philippa Gregory. The Wise Woman by Philippa Gregory. The Other Boleyn Girl by Philippa Gregory. This is going to be my last book. It's probably going to be my to-go book because I was meant to have a break in August, and I can't have a break in August now because I won't get any of these books done. I'm going to take one book with me to Scotland. I'll probably take two if we go by car. If we go by train, I'm probably going to take one because I probably won't be able to read with the kids being on a train, but in the car they have their own activities to do and they can't move around in a car, so they have to sit, and I can have two books. Obviously I'm not going to read two books in one go, in one drive. Obviously I'm taking the other book for the way back, but I know if I go by train, I know only one will probably be the book what I'll need one book. Someone has suggested that I only take a book what I've read previously, which is I've read this previously, so that when I get to the holiday, if I haven't read it, which this one was going to be if we went in a car, I was going to get this one, bring this one with me, and this autumn one. And then my friend suggested don't, because if you don't read them, or if you don't finish the book, you might want to read it during the holiday, and my holidays are not accustomed to reading books on holidays. If I had to spare like 20 minutes, if the kids went to the kids club and I had to spare 20 minutes to sit down and read, I would, but my friend suggest to take a book with me which I already read, so this one is probably going to go to Scotland with me because I've already read it and I know I can put it down. It's in my collection to read, but if I get halfway and then I come back and it's September and I go on to another book, it's not going to bother me because I've already read it. So I have some history books which are Arabella Stuart as well. I do have A Daughter's Journey, which is by Lynn Andrews. And then I have A Short History of England. So, and Virgin Widow, The England's Forgotten Queen, and Jane Boleyn, The Infamous Lady Watchford. So I've got them books still in my to read pile for 2018. Just one down and the rest I need to do. So I'm now going to go and I'll chat to you later. So ta-ta for now. Bye.